Many of you wonder what is going on with Harry and Meghan Markle. How did she trap him? Is she abusing him? Is he being abusive? Is he a victim? What is the narrative? Why is Harry doing the things that he's doing to his family? Is it because Meghan is brainwashing him? Many of you, many of you say to me, he's got Stockholm Syndrome, Paula. So we're going to discuss what Stockholm Syndrome is, the actual definition of Stockholm Syndrome. And it is feelings of trust or affection felt in many cases of kidnapping or hostage taking by a victim towards a captor. So we would have to establish that Meghan kidnapped Harry in order for him to be a hostage, and that Harry is in love with her. But Stockholm Syndrome does not justify the actions of the hostage towards his loved ones, or does it? So we're going to explore everything about, we've seen the maid interview that she says she saw Meghan slap Harry, that he didn't flinch, as though it is a very common thing that happens. Also, how she denigrated him, saying that he was a nobody, that the reason why she's doing so poorly in Hollywood and worldwide is not because of her actions, but because of him and his family. That she is the real victim, not Harry. I'm going to talk about certain things. I'm just going to put it out there. And let's see what you guys think. And please leave it in the comment section. Before we start with all of this, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Very much appreciated, all of you beautiful people who come to my channel. My name is Paula. Paula M, in case you haven't been here before. I just talk about royalty, celebrities, and other stuff as well. So thank you very much for those of you who are coming here just now, and for those who return faithfully to watch my channel and my content. So yes, don't forget to like, share, subscribe. Please follow me on Facebook. And so I just want to start by something, because I've been thinking a lot, and I mean a lot, after the maid interview I did. And there's another interview dropping this week, hopefully, if Ron gets his act together and he can do the thing that he does with the voice, altering the voice. And as you all know, I was in an abusive relationship myself. I am not the smartest cookie in the jar, but I'm not as dumb as Harry. From what is widely reported, he wasn't even smart enough to get the minimum grade from Eton in order to get into the military. We all remember that scandal of the fudging of the grades that he got. Also, that he failed his officer's exam the first time or second time. And I think that the other big scandal, thanks to the phone hacking situation, that it was claimed that the aide helped him pass the exam, the officer's exam. This is a man that, thanks to his memory spare, the book, he's not a recreational drug user. He is a full-on addict. I also did a video a while back ago, guys, where I discussed scientific things, or scientific studies that say that prolonged use of marijuana and other drugs from a very early age reduces the brain in up to 5 or 6 points in IQ, which is a lot, guys. It is a lot of points in IQ, believe you me. I mean, it takes only 1 point for you to be sent to regular school and to the other school. From what Harry has said, and I remember the scandals, I know many of you might be too young, but I remember the scandals when he was caught and he was taken to these drug places when he was a young kid. We know that there was a bar that Charles put in the basement because to indulge Harry's probably drug addictions or alcoholism or whatever. Because most of the time one goes hand in hand with the other. As he said, when he came back from his first date from Soho House with Meghan Markle that he was doing weed and taking shots of tequila. That he was very high when she FaceTimed him. So, having established that this is a man that the royal family, whose, let me see, how can I put this nicely? Whose intellectual prowess are I don't want to be too mean, but clearly he's not smart. But he's smart enough to be aware that he's not smart, to resent it when people point it out that he's not smart. He's aware enough to know that he's dumb. And it angers him because he's not as smart as everybody else. There are 4 stages for there's quite a few stages. I've been looking at things here, long-term effects of narcissistic abuse, signs that you are a victim of, or you're in an abusive relationship with a narcissist person. But you know what? I don't like Harry, and this is not an excuse. I believe that Meghan Markle began her abuse way before they entered a relationship. Because this is like, if you know somebody who's dumb or mentally, not all there, and you seek people like that because you know you're going to take advantage of them, manipulate them, that in itself is abusive. Because that means that this man is a prey for her. It's a target because of his limited intelligence or lack thereof. They are, for example, I was reading this and they were giving me like 9 signs of abuse, of narcissistic abuse in a relationship. Okay? And it talks about when these narcs, Meghan Markle is successful with certain type of men. She's not successful with smart, secure, alpha males. She always preys on very soft-spoken or limited intelligence men. For example, Rory McIlroy, he's very good at the sport he does, a golfer, but he's not very smart. And he has a lot of ego, so women like Meghan Markle can play on that weakness of an ego because he's not that smart. Which I think this is where she got in with Harry. But for example, with Corey Vitiello, who's a sweetheart. Trevor Engelson, who was a sweetheart. And always these relationships move very fast. With Trevor Engelson, I believe she moved in with him. Within a month, they were living together. And Trevor thought to himself that he couldn't believe he was so lucky that he landed that gorgeous girl. So, and the reason for that, and I've said it many times in my channel, that time is always against these kinds of people because they're always working against the clock. So they need to sink their grip. They need to tighten that grip very quickly to establish a relationship of codependency or complete dependency. So when you start a relationship, you assume that it's going to be love, lust, clearly chemistry, but it's geared towards love, respect, a union that will gain you other loved ones. Because when you marry a person, you also gain relatives in most cases, unless you're Meghan Markle. Unless you marry Meghan Markle, you basically lose both sides of the family. But then you end up being trapped with a narcissist. So I ask you, if we know that Harry is somebody of a limited mental abilities, that he's been doing drugs for a long period of time, which clouds his judgment, makes him paranoid, because that's one of the side effects of long-term use of drugs from a very young age, or any age. They become paranoid, moody, suspicious. So Meghan knew all of that. So she targeted somebody who was mentally imbalanced, emotionally incapable, or stunted to take advantage of. Again, I'm not giving Harry a free pass. But I'm just saying, those are the facts. At least what's put out there in the public domain. I mean, I'm going on what is out in the public domain. But we know he's not smart. We know he has issues. We know he's been doing drugs for quite some time because he opened his mouth and told everybody, because we knew that there were issues within the royal family to the point that King Charles had to take him to a seminar. So for me, I don't know about you, please leave your comments. The abuse started from the moment she targeted this man, because she love bombed him. She played to those weaknesses that he's not smart enough to recognize somebody like her, who is so emotional. Harry's also emotionally needy and paranoid. So she could recognize that and exploit it. So she love bombed him. She love bombed him. You know how narcissistic, oh, I love your family. We've seen those statements that Harry made. Oh, Meghan, oh, Catherine was, and my brother, they were also welcoming to this woman. They are the family she never had. We see her clenching her jaw. I'm sure she was thinking, just you wait until I get that marriage certificate signed. The reason why I'm talking about this is because a lot of people have said that they don't believe that Meghan Markle could slap Harry. I remember a live I did with Samantha and Ron at the very beginning, quite a while ago. And I said, that there are people, I wouldn't be beyond the realm to think that Meghan Markle is being not only mentally and emotionally abusive towards Harry, but also physically. Because those kind of people, an abusive person, guys, always escalates, never de-escalates. The only time you can get an abusive person to stop the abuse is by very, very strong actions. Yeah, that's my boss behind my back. I love her so much. City. Cachita de la mama. Oh, guys, she's so pretty. Right, City? You're so pretty, my pretty girl. I'm sorry. I just can't. I get them. So yes, she sinks her hooks in him. I do believe, genuinely, he thought that she was going to hit the ground running with him, that he was gaining a partner. I do believe that what he said in that engagement interview is the real Harry and the real thing of what he thought. I really do believe that. In many ways, I blame his family because they knew Harry. They knew his limitations. They knew that he was an easy target for somebody like Meghan Markle, and they should have taken stronger steps to do that. The only justification I'm thinking is that maybe they thought they could control Meghan Markle because she has so many skeletons in her closet. But clearly, she's a woman who doesn't care and is willing to say anything. So where am I going with this? We established she's stupid. We established that to Meghan Markle, she was an easy prey. She manages to marry this man, and the second she marries this man, she already has an exit strategy. We've seen Harry, or at least, because I think he's a nasty, arrogant idiot. And I've actually found an interview that I'm going to do a video about where it literally shows contempt for his family years before Meghan Markle came into the picture. But he managed that contempt. He managed that envy. He managed that hatred he has for his brother very carefully. But now he's indulging it. We've now said that Stockholm Syndrome are the feelings a hostage develops for its kidnapper. Meghan didn't kidnap Harry. She didn't kidnap him, clearly. That we know she didn't kidnap him. He went there willingly. Stockholm Syndrome arises from a violent action of a hostage, somebody that you don't have any relationship with, and you're taken as a hostage, and you develop those feelings for this person. That's where the term came out. We have seen that Harry, in many ways, has been played by a D-list mattress actress, unemployed mattress actress, who thinks that couch casting is a legal sport. And he has fallen in the grips of somebody like Oprah Winfrey, who basically ambushed his ginger butt on that interview. Because this was a very, very calculated interview by Oprah Winfrey and Meghan Markle. And if Oprah says that she never, ever talked about or had a conversation with Meghan Markle or prior to doing the interview, just listen to this.
The most important thing for them, before I do any interview, I have a conversation with whoever I'm interviewing and ask, tell me what your intention is, and I will tell you what my intention is, and let's see if we can align those two, because I don't want you to finish an interview and at the end of the interview say, I wish I had said.
So clearly there were conversations between Oprah and Meghan Markle. Because we saw that when Harry was finally allowed, after 60 long bloody minutes of listening to Meghan Markle, blah, 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 it started to go bad for them. When Harry said, no, there was that conversation of race happened way before I was with her, and it was just with one person. So we have seen glimpses of Harry being defiant towards Meghan. According to the maid, he refused to get on that plane and go to Uvalde, which signals some sort of awareness of what is right and decent. Because I don't understand how Meghan would think that getting on a plane after a massacre of children and bring a crew to take pictures of herself pretending to care was a good idea. We've seen Harry, I'm sorry guys. We've seen Harry when he went on Tom Bradby, and Tom Bradby reinforced the fact that Meghan said that they were abusive, that the royal family were racist. And Harry, in his very stupid and limited way, said, what do you mean? Meghan Markle never said they were racist. Point to one conversation or one sentence when Meghan Markle called my family racist. Because of course, as I said to you before, sorry about that, when I was still in Norway, I did a video about it when the Oprah Winfrey thing came out. And I told you guys that Oprah and Meghan were dancing with words because both of them needed to have plausible deniability. Because when Meghan said, were they racist? What? And what did Meghan say? She didn't say yes. She said, if that is your assumption, it is a safe one. So she's blaming it on Oprah. So we're seeing two sharks back and forth, trying to catch each other up. Now, the maid, well, you haven't seen this interview, but you're going to see it this week. So I don't know if I should talk, but I'm going to talk about it. She does talk that there were arguments with a writer that used to come to the mansion and work there with them, or when, they used to talk among themselves. We know please, okay, I can't say for a fact, but there's a high likelihood that Meghan Markle wanted Harry to include the lipstick thing. Wanted Harry, or that William pointed a finger towards Meghan, that Meghan wanted that, calling Catherine a baby brain. She needed that story because in that book, because in her mind, she truly, truly thinks that bullying is okay. Because she needs people to know in her mind that Catherine is responsible one. Because so what if she's baby brains? Can you imagine if the roles were reversed and Catherine had called her baby brains? Showing any compassion at all towards Catherine, a pregnant woman? None. Gone. It says in this article that I have here, guys, what is narcissistic abuse? It says that narcissistic abuse is a type of emotional abuse that is carried out by somebody with narcissistic personality disorder or narcissistic tendencies. Okay? Narcissistic abuse, and I like this definition, please let me know what you think, is basically a systematic approach to humiliate, reject, blame, and actually destroy the other person in a relationship. It is not love. A narcissist feeds on their victims. They're parasites, basically. So I like that because I like that approach. This is a scientific kind of thing, but this sums up what Meghan Markle is doing, and I really do believe that she's doing it because she feels inferior to everybody, and in a huge way, I believe that she must really resent Harry for the fact that he's the royal and not her. She must really resent the hell out of Harry that nobody can see how wonderful in her mind she is. And just to pacify things, because I've gotten so many questions about this, that Meghan Markle is unaware of what she's doing. That she's an unaware narcissist. She's very, very well aware of what she's doing. She just doesn't care. Do you think she's not aware of what she's doing to her father? She just doesn't care. Do you think she's not aware of what she's doing to her sister? She just doesn't care. Do you think that she was not aware of what she was doing to the Queen, Prince Philip, Catherine, William? I mean, the list of bodies that Meghan Markle has left on her trail is a long list. But she just doesn't care. That doesn't make her unaware. Because she knows the difference between right and wrong. Unless, of course, she is mentally, certifiably, and legally insane. Because a person who's legally insane does not know the difference between right and wrong. They will come and punch you or bite you, and then they give you a hug. I've given the example that there's a gentleman by my house. He's mentally insane because, of course, he's poor, and there's not very well care here in this country. He wanders the streets and he lives outside the supermarket by where I live. And he is insane. He will be kind to you, and the next thing he's shouting and screaming at you. There's another lady who's mentally insane, and she showers naked outside. There's like not right now vocabulary escapes me, but there is that please put the name of it because this is gonna really drive me insane. Where firemen hook up the fire hydrant. I think it's called fire hydrant. Please let me know. And sometimes it's broken and the water is coming everywhere. Or I don't know how she does it, but there's always water. And she comes in, she's completely naked and she wanders the streets naked. We people just, even if we try to put anything on her, she'll freak out. So that's somebody who's mentally insane, who is unaware of her. Listen to the word, what unaware means. Let me find it for you. Here we go. You know that I love giving definitions of stuff and taking it from there. Unaware, not knowing that something exists or not having knowledge or experience of something. I was unaware of the risks involved. I was unaware that you were a thief. But you're always aware of your condition. You're always aware of who you are. You're aware between what's right and wrong. It's when you're not aware that something is there. Meghan Markle knows what she's doing. She's aware what her actions bring to the table. As I said it today in Royal Mess, when you marry somebody, you gain family. You gain a family member. And one of the side effects or one of the things that are hurtful, and if you have a healthy marriage and you gain and you create very good relationships with your husband or your wife's family, is that when you get divorced, you're not only losing your spouse, you're losing the entire social network that came with them, even their friends, because friends tend to pick, sides. So we have right now that Meghan Markle, and then we have here, now we have entered idealization. That is the stage that how Meghan Markle hooked this idiot, because Harry is an idiot. She hooked him. The abuse starts with idealization, which is when the narcissistic person puts you on a pedestal, which is exactly what Meghan Markle did. She played to his insecurities, to his needs, his wants. So the abuse, this is great. The abuse started way before when she targeted him. The evaluation. This is the stage when the narcissist knocks you off your pedestal. Okay, I put you this high, switch it off, and now you're below the pedestal. Changing the narrative and making you think that you're no longer worthy. Therefore, making you try to work really hard to get back on that pedestal that she purposely knocked your ass off of. Discard. At this point, the narcissist may abruptly break up with, cheat on, or ghost you. Their goal is to make you feel as if you made them take this action, as if it is his fault. And we've heard that Harry was worried that Meghan was going to dump his ass because she already had started the process of devaluation in order to secure a bigger commitment from him. Hoovering occurs when the narcissist attempts to suck you back into the relationship, which I believe happened when she went to Jamaica to that wedding of Harry's friend. Like a vacuum, hence the name, sometimes even while acknowledging their abusive behaviors. I need you. I will change. Just give me one more chance. Those are the things. And the relationship, of course, it says, is intense from the beginning. Because again, time is always against these people because they always run the risk that the prey, the target, is going to wake up. So they need to, completely get their claws into you. And then comes the divorce, the complete discarding of the person. By this time, this person is self-esteem is completely gone to crap. The isolation, which is one of the main key things that narcissists do in order to maintain their control over the person. They take away one of the things that they have. You don't feel as confident about your decision-making skills, which is what's happening with Harry, because we see Harry around without her or around her. He looks incredibly insecure. Contrast that to when he's on his own. He feels secured. He looks happy. When he's around Meghan, he looks clumsy, nervous, indecisive. They triangulate your arguments, which is they get their friends. They surround themselves by people they like. Because once they've isolated their prey, their target, then the target has no choice but to completely depend on the narcissist and the people she has chosen to be around. And she uses them to basically give credibility to her abuse. They feel depressed and anxious. And sometimes, if not 97% of the time, it escalates beyond emotional and psychological violence, which is physical. I don't know about you, but I do believe the maid. I do believe the lady. She sounded to me very credible. The second interview is going to be coming later on. So my questions to you, beautiful, beautiful people, my questions are, by the definition of Stockholm Syndrome, clearly Harry's not. Because that syndrome is only it explains the feelings of love that a hostage develops for its captor. We know that Harry went willingly into a relationship with her. We know that he stays there. But we also know he was not smart. That he's a dumb person with limited emotional capabilities. So to me, the abuse started there. I am not condoning his actions for what he did to his grandmother, because I took a lot of beatings from my ex-husband because he wanted me to be against my family and stuff. I said, nuh-uh. I'm not justifying it. I'm just conflicted. But what do you think? Because I am conflicted. I am really conflicted, Because also I've been explained that people who are like that and they have a lot of low self-esteem and they're that desperate and isolated, they will do anything, even if it means trashing their own families, because they feel that isolated. I think that in my interview with Andrew Gold, please go watch it. He did say something that was very powerful to me when I asked him, why doesn't he leave her? I think I asked him, do you think he knows what he's done? And he said, or do you think he thinks he's right? And Andrew Gold said something very powerful to me that actually from that day on, it got me thinking, which is Harry doesn't even want to contemplate the possibility that he could be wrong. Because the things that he's done are so horrible that just thinking about that he could be in the wrong is too traumatic for him. So he needs to cling to the possibility that his family is that evil and he is that right, and that Meghan hasn't misled him. I hope you get to watch this video, and do leave